This is Vanessa Franko here for the Press Enterprise. Legendary R&B icon Etta James has died. We're joined by Rich DeAtley, former entertainment editor here at the Press Enterprise and current courts and legal affairs reporter, to talk about Etta's life, her legacy, and her music. First off, can you just talk a little bit about where Etta fits in American music?
She is probably one of the leaders of the R&B genre that really got its footing in the early mid-50s, and has laid down several memorable tracks that are part of her catalog. At Last, I'd Rather Go Blind, Tell Mama, and some saltier songs like Roll With Me Henry, also in her catalog.
Which that was really her first hit from with Etta, it was with the Etta and the Peaches.
Right, it was in about 1955, I think.
And it was a response to Dance With Me.
Well, Dance With Me, but also Work With Me, Annie, which was also a little bit of an eyebrow raiser back in the day.
Well, can you talk a little bit about what Etta overcame in her life?
She several things. She came from, by her own account, a very tough childhood and young adulthood. As an R&B artist, especially from that era, she was, like many, undercompensated for her work. There were the temptations of drug and alcohol abuse, and there were people out there who were willing to promote it and supply it, and she did fall victim to that for several years. She described in great detail her heroin addiction, but she overcame that. She also overcame the financial part of the equation, which a lot of her contemporaries didn't. So two things that she sort of like flew through the flames and came out right on. And that's part of her legacy as much as her music, I think.
Well, and she detailed a lot of those struggles that she had in her autobiography, Rage to Survive, from the late 1990s, where, I mean, she talked about the heroin addiction, which was also present. They portrayed it a bit in Cadillac Records, which was based on Chess Records, and Beyonce played Etta, but a lot of it, like, I mean, she was really honest and truthful about it in her autobiography. But another thing she talked about in her autobiography was coming to Riverside. Can you talk a little bit about Etta's feelings toward Riverside and being resident here, and also what she meant to the community as a whole?
She loved life here. It was a place she visited in her childhood, the inland area, Lake Elsinore and San Bernardino, but she had mentioned that her grandmother had said that she would really like to live, her grandmother that is, would like to have lived in Riverside. So it became one of those things that maybe you're exposed to in your childhood, and you always think, gee, I'd like to come here if I ever make it. And when she was her arriving at success, she came out here. She enjoyed visiting stores. She was a Grand Marshal of the Orange Blossom Festival Parade one year in the late 90s. Her family, her sons still live out here in the area. And she reveled in it. Also, because of who she was able to continue her career. She was of such talent, I think, that she didn't need the kind of LA contacts and Los Angeles contacts and exposure. People would come to her. She was Etta James.
Well, and can you talk a little bit about, you know, one of the iconic moments in Etta's Riverside history was right downtown at the courthouse.
Courthouse concert, I think, in 2001, and a few weeks before she appeared at the Hollywood Bowl by way of saying that it was a real community event for her to do. She was on call for places like venues like the Hollywood Bowl. Didn't have to, for the sake of her career, appear in front of the courthouse in downtown Riverside. That would be the historic courthouse with the Beaux Arts design, and everyone who was there said it was a magic night. She gave a great performance. Arrived in those days quite heavy. She was in a wheelchair. And sat down for most of the performances, but she's such a good performer that none of that mattered. It was her voice, her emotion. She was on target, everyone said. It was a concert that people still talk about.
It really is. That's like, you know, when I talk to people, It's something that really comes up with my sources to me even now, and we're now 11 years away from that. Can you talk a little bit about, one of the songs that's she's most well known for is "At Last." Can you talk a little bit about where that is, where it fits in, and just the soundtrack of America?
It really belongs in the Great American Songbook. It is a great example on 2 or 3 levels that I can think of right now. One is an example of a singer owning a song. When she recorded for Chess Records in 1961, it was a 20-year-old song. It had been featured in a movie in 1941. Others had recorded it, but no one ever thinks about anyone else's version of the song but hers. I think a lot of people even think she wrote it. But also for songs sung by women in the American Songbook, often those are torch songs. The Man That Got Away, Stormy Weather. This is a great uplifting, yay-saying song about a woman who's found the kind of love she's been looking for. And it has been ingrained in so many ways. First of all, it's her version that anyone cares to hear. It's been in commercials. It's a song at weddings, and everyone recognizes it, and they recognize her version, period, end of story.
Can you just talk a little bit about what Etta's legacy is?
I think anytime you see a female singer of great talent who can sing just about any kind of song. Etta said that James had said during her career that sometimes she was neither fish nor fowl, rock, R&B, even country. I think that that's part of her legacy. Amy Winehouse actually is a more recent example of someone I think whose vocal range and ability to take on different songs and give them that kind of emotion reminded me of her. And she is probably has that dual success of not only being commercially popular, but also if you ask any woman who's singer in the last 30 or 40 years, who some of their influences are, almost invariably Etta James comes up.
Oh, and she was nominated, I'm sorry, not nominated, named number 22 on the Rolling Stones 100 Greatest Singers of All Time, voted in by the likes of B.B. King and Bonnie Raitt. And I mean, I think that just, one more accolade for a woman who's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and just had a fantastic career.
She's won recognition in several genres of music, rock and roll, R&B, and it's a sad loss.
Well, Rich, thank you so much for joining us. For more information on the life of Etta James, visit pe.com.